welcome. I'm Marco, and I'm here joined here today with Anthony McDonough from Crypt Keeper. Welcome, Anthony.
Thanks, Marco. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's a pleasure. I think we've been talking about having you on for since I started the NFT update show. I'm glad we could finally get together and have you on for the con.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. I've been looking forward to coming on to the show for a while, and it was nice that we got to link up at the summit and have a conversation about doing this. So thank you again for having me on.
How amazing was that summit, though?
I'm still wearing the shirt. I haven't taken it off.
There you go. I keep trying to explain to people when they ask about like the importance of these conventions and conferences, and one of the reasons why we put together cNFTcon was the the experience you get not so much from the panels, right, but just being able to meet other people in the space and talk to them and the connections you make and everything like that. And it's hard to replicate that online.
Oh, yeah, I would even go to say that it's probably impossible to replicate that online. I mean, it's just so many dynamic people meeting in what would be an unlikely circumstance on the internet. I think is made possible at things like conferences and summits. So they have a value that is just unprecedented against just kind of grouping online. You're able to go back and forth with ideas so rapidly when you're with people than if you could online because of time schedules and restrictions. You're just sitting there having a conversation, working out business deals. And yeah, there's nothing like a summit.
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
way to put it into context for some people, or kind of to relate it, it's like musicians coming together to do a jam session, right? Where they're riffing off one
Totally.
another, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just it's like, oh, play that again, right? Oh, okay. What if I do this, right? You know,
exactly. Yep.
and that's really hard to do online. So, and also we need kind of a release valve every year because we work crazy hours. We put so much into all this. We just, I wanted something where everybody could come together and just relax, have a good
I
time,
agree.
And
I agree.
what better place than Vegas, right?
Totally. Totally. I agree. I think it's like a work hard, play hard situation. And what's nice about it is that it is, in a sense, like a vacation, a getaway, but you're still working. I was working there just as many hours or more than I do working at home. So,
But it doesn't feel
but it's
like it at
fun work.
all,
It's
right?
different than the usual.
All right. Well, now that we've kind of let people file in here a little bit, let's talk a little bit about Crypt Keepers. I have one, right here that I got from the show from the Squawker After Party,
Very nice. Did you
and
get the Ada one? Which one did you get?
I just got the regular one, I think.
The Crypt Keeper one? Okay,
Yeah,
so I threw a couple of Ada Lovelace ones in there. A couple, they were hidden though. There was just randoms.
yeah.
So you never knew what you were going to get. But yeah.
So tell me about what the Crypt Keeper is and a little bit how you came up with it.
Okay. So back in 2000, I don't know, 15, 16, I was working as a mechanical and industrial engineer at a few different places like Magnus High Tech and EMF. And what they are like AS 9100 and ISO 9001 manufacturing facilities. So we make aerospace components and stuff like that. So I was working one day and we had a CNC machine engraving numbers and letters, and I was like, hey, I wonder if I can put my private key into a piece of steel or aluminum or titanium. And so I asked my boss. I just went into the scrap bin and I took a piece of aerospace aluminum out. It was a certain type of aluminum that's a little more resistant to corrosion and wear. But anyway, he was like, yeah, you can take it. And I ordered a stamp set, punch set, like of numbers and letters. And that was when the private keys on the Bitcoin wallets were just strings of cap sensitive numbers and letters. They weren't like words that we have today, like in the BIP39 proposal. So I was stamping my private key in, and I was like, oh my God, this is a total nightmare, because I was putting things in upside down. I had the stamp upside down. So then I programmed it and engraved it and put it into metal via the CNC machine, and that worked out great. But I was like, this is a great thing to have, and I felt much better after I had made one. I was like, oh, my private key's way more secure now, but how can I give this to other people? So then they created the Bitcoin improvement proposal. Now, Crypt Keeper, I had made sets of them. They've gone through, you have right now revision 5.
Okay.
I've gone through other revisions where I 3D printed jigs so people could punch their private keys in. And then so I was looking at ways to do this in a more simplified manner without having to raise the cost, because you would have to have a punch set of all caps letters, lowercase letters, and numbers 0 through 9. So I wanted to simplify this. So I figured that I could do that with a numeric grid system that focused on the BIP39 word list. So those mnemonic phrases that you get when you create a wallet, those words that you receive, whether they be 12, 15, 24, they come from a library, and that library consists of, I believe it's 2048 words. So correct me if I'm wrong. The first word is, I believe, abandon. That's 0001. And the last word, I think, is zoo. It's 2048. I couldn't tell you any of them in between that.
Nope. I have the little
So
booklet right here. And so
yes.
there
So
we
your
go.
Crypt Keeper comes with a booklet, and it has all of the words with their corresponding 4-digit number. And so the goal here is that you just have to punch your number into the plate, and you can reverse look it up. So even if your book gets destroyed, BIP39 is a standard. You can download the word list from the website, or many websites have the BIP39 list with the corresponding numbers attached.
You mean websites like cryptkeeperwallet.com?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the plug. So you can go to cryptkeeperwallet.com, go to downloads, and you'll have the BIP39 word list under downloads. You're free to download it there. Many websites have it, though, so it's not a standard that I came up with. But if you look at the Crypt Keeper plate, you have 5 columns. Your first columns are numbered 1 and 13, 2 and 14, 3 and 15, and so on. That first vertical column is to distinguish which word you're marking. So if your key phrase, it's on the actual plate, the inside of the plate.
There we go.
So if your key phrase is only 12 words, you'll only use one plate. But if it bleeds over to 13, 15, or 24 words, you can use the second plate, and you'll know which plate holds words 1 through 12 and which plate holds words 13 through 24.
So yeah, what's nice is if you, I don't know if we can see it, but yeah, you have
It's
where you
hard
can
to see
punch.
on cameras.
Yeah. So you have to where you can put your wallet ID, and then like the numbers. Is it one? The plate is it 1 through 12 or 13 through 24?
Right. So, for example, if you're marking a treasure, those are only 12 words. So you'll only use one plate. But if you're doing like a Yoroi, which is 15, I believe, or a Daedalus, which is 24, then you consume both plates. But you would know which plate holds words 1 through 12 and which plate holds words 13 through 24.
And if you're really sneaky, you might switch it around, and people will be
Exactly.
confused.
I've heard of people doing that as well, or separating, mixing their plates, or switching their words around. It's always scary when you do that, because if something happens to you, someone can't reverse those words in the event of an emergency. So,
Right.
oh, you see the gold one? That's one of the older revisions there. I did gold plates a long time ago. Yeah,
Nice.
that one. Yeah, so the designs changed quite a bit.
Well, here, you know what? Let's take a look at this video here. I don't know.
Oh, that will just show you like how to separate them and how they come apart and how to clip them.
So check that again. That's on the website. You can see all that here. So after you're done watching this, check it out. No, I like it. So like now it's so much easier because like when I get it, I'm like, okay, what are these? Now that you understand like the whole bib system, I didn't know that offhand, and so now
Right.
it makes much more sense.
Yep. And so that's the trick. So what you do is you write down your seed phrase on the white card.
Hmm.
Um, you can keep that as your main. I like to laminate that card and keep it with the Crypt Keeper, and use it if I ever need to recover the words, obviously, so I don't need to go to the Crypt Keeper and reverse out all my words again. But that card is good. You write your word down, and then below the word you can put your 4-digit number, and then you work your way across the Crypt Keeper. You start with the first word, and then if you notice, the second column in the Crypt Keeper only has the numbers 0, 1, and 2. And that's because the numbers only go up to the 2000s. So
Right.
your first digit will always be 0, 1, or 2, and then followed by, whatever your next 3 digits are for your corresponding word.
So currently Cardano uses this BIP uh, 39 thing, right?
Right. Yes.
And all right. Now, so it's basically like you're having two copies, right? Because if you have this little sheet, it's the same as having the Crypt Keeper, right? Because you can,
Precisely.
right.
Yes. So having the card is just like having the Crypt Keeper. The Crypt Keeper doesn't necessarily encrypt a phrase for you, but it does allow you to save your phrase on something more structurally secure than
So
a
if there's a
piece of paper.
fire, for example, right?
Right. If there's a fire or a flood or something crazy happens, your Crypt Keeper will still remain intact, whereas paper probably won't, and then you can reverse your words back out and put them back on the paper so you can restore your wallets. It's just an end all say all solution to
Right.
a word.
Yeah, because I
Like I
mean,
couldn't.
because when I first got it, I was like, why would I have two copies? Isn't the whole point of having this is so it's a little bit more secure? Like, why would I need a paper one? But now that you say, in case of a fire, in case something,
Right.
or somebody spills something,
Right.
right?
And exactly. Yeah, I could never understand trusting solely in paper. That's what we're trying to move away from, is fiat paper. So
Right.
why would I put all of my crypto onto
So,
paper, which is notorious to disintegrate and just wear anyway?
so you're like, you know what? Let me go straight caveman and
Yeah.
just engrave this stuff, right? So stuff.
I should have picked up. I should have started on a rock, a stone tablet.
There you go. Like, yeah. If only the Ten Commandments were on this steel. What do you call it? What kind of steel is it? So yeah, great. So let's talk a little bit about the art collaborations and how you're extending that into custom ones of these.
Yes.
So you're
So,
looking for just
as
because
you
I
can,
just popped this out. You're looking for artists that
yeah,
also want to do that because I just clicked on here. So go ahead.
right. So we're looking for artists that want to design a Crypt Keeper. The template, as you can see, is there to download. And we wanted to do something like kind of like Dunnies does, like the little Dunnies. So you take a Dunny and an artist can design it, and then they can
Mhm.
manufacture it. And that's kind of the idea that we're going behind. I know the community is quite small right now for that.
Right.
But I think as more artists come in, you'll have like special designs for those specific artists. I've started to already make special editions like the Ada Lovelace. I did the Bloom Pool version. So if any pools want to have their own Crypt Keeper made, feel free to reach out. I would love to make a. I'm actually making a Buffy. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it done in time for the podcast. Just due to the circumstance with our batch out scheduling on each production run that we have, I wasn't able to get that one done in time. But I will make a Buffy bot Crypt Keeper.
I can't wait.
And yeah, so if anyone wants to make one, feel free to reach out. And eventually, I would like this to lead into where you can upload your own design and your own artwork and just get a totally custom Crypt Keeper. And without minimum orders and dealing with any of that, we can just do one offs if you like.
And what you do is you reverse engineer the actual password onto the image, and it's like a pictograph code in actuality. And people, why aren't the codes in this thing working? And you're like, yeah, it's like it was.
We could do some real fun stuff. I've gotten requests to put receive address on the outside of a Crypt Keeper, which is a little. I never really understood, because then you're going to take out your whole password so someone can scan it. But that was one of the requests that we've gotten.
Now, my mind is going down this rabbit hole of like some kind of like gaming thing where you get one, you have to crack some kind of code, and you open it up, and boom, it takes you somewhere else.
Yeah. We were considering doing a treasure hunt, actually.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, where we load one with a certain amount of ADA or Bitcoin and physically go hide it somewhere, and have people go
like
try to find it.
cNFTcon 2022.
I'll hide one in Vegas somewhere.
There you go. What? How did it get to get here? So one of the donut shops. But it's amazing. Like I said, that's what I love about this space is it's so new, and yet you can take basic concepts and create something entirely new in the space, right?
Totally.
Like, there's still plenty. Like, it's still the wild wild west, and it's not these giant mega corporations that are coming in. This is where they start, right? This is how.
Yeah. Man, there's something here for everybody. That's the neatest thing about crypto, especially if you get into the smaller communities like Cardano. I mean, you can literally have any skill set and come in and find yourself a job here.
But it's kind of like what you did here with Crypt Keeper. You saw a need, you went out and created it, right? And then now you have it, and now the people can enjoy it. And so the idea is that you take this, you put it away somewhere safe, then you can access it if you need to later. What is the drill bit for? It comes with like a little drill bit as well.
So it's basically to act as a countersink. The punch works. The punch is the only thing that we get outsourced and purchased. Yeah, and they're not that great. I'm looking for better punches. They do indent, but you can use the drill bit after to really countersink the hole. And even if you use the drill bit by hand, it widens out the hole and it becomes really visible on the plate.
Okay. Makes sense. And so if I'm looking at the Crypt Keeper here, here's like the front, right? How would it look like with the artwork or something on that?
I'll show you.
It's kind of like a brushed metal, so
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I have any ADAs here. Here, we'll do a bloom pool one.
Okay. Ooh, this just turned into an unboxing, everybody.
Here, so what these are is you have a process where it's anodized aluminum, and what the aluminum, this is aerospace 6061 T6 aerospace grade aluminum, so it's highly corrosion resistant. It's a very, very strong material. We are this year making titanium. We're testing titanium right now and cutting it on the machine, seeing how it cuts and seeing if we can hold the same tolerances that we do here. Because this recent version or revision rather is within 1,000th. Every single piece is within 1,000th of each other, and that's aerospace grade tolerance.
All right,
so we're seeing when you're machining these things, they heat up and they flex and they warp, and there's all types of things to consider. So titanium and aerospace aluminum, they'll react differently under certain temperatures and whatnot. So we're basically testing our titanium versions now, which should be available, I think, January. But anyway, what we do with these is we machine them, then they get tumbled and deburred, and then they go to anodize, and that is where the black coating comes in. The anodize is not actually a coating. It's more like a stain. It stains the aluminum to a certain depth. and it helps with corrosion resistance. It's actually a protective coating. And then from anodized, they go on to the fiber laser engraver, and it actually cuts out this design to a depth of, I think it was 4 to 6 microns deep, which is pretty deep. I mean, you'd have to sand away the black to, you'd have to sand away the anodized to remove the engraving on the outside of the plates, and the same with the inside as well.
Okay, nice. All right. So what's it going to take, for us to all pull together and send one into space with 5.8 on it?
I am on the space coast of Florida, which is how I've gotten to work with all of these types of materials and got to work in the aerospace industry. I've built lots of stuff for SpaceX. I got to work on the Mars rover. I've done stuff for DARPA. Super fun projects. So I am really, really close to being able to push something like this to happen. I've seen a lot of people talk about putting a Bitcoin on the moon or whatever, but I think we could definitely send a Crypt Keeper to space. I don't see why not.
Let's do it, everybody. Come on. We love goals, right? Let's just,
hey.
like,
why
for
not?
everyone sold, once we hit a certain threshold.
Yeah, I wonder what it would take to like put this on the payload of one of the Falcon 9s or whatever, something going to the moon or whatever. Even if you just chuck it out the window in space, just so it's in space floating around with Elon's Roadster.
There you go. There's one in the trunk of the Roadster. Prove me wrong. If you check the glove box of the Roadster, you'll find one.
There's a Crypt Keeper in there with a private key on it.
Right? Prove me wrong. But so it's just amazing stuff. And again, I love this space. I love coming across projects like this all the time. And so now that people know about this, can you talk a little bit about the price? And they can get that on the website below. But how much are they?
Sure. The price for the one that you have, the Crypt Keeper one, I tried to mark as low because I didn't have to get logo permissions, or some of even the logos that I use, I have to split some of the profit with the company that I engrave on the Crypt Keeper. So the Crypt Keeper blanks are $49.99, and anyone with a logo on it is, I believe, $59.99, and then the punch and drill bit set, I think, are like $5 or $5.50.
Great. And what's the logo that you're talking about? Like whether or not it's like
Any
Cardano?
Trezor, Ledger. I don't have to do anything with Cardano or Daedalus or Yoroi. So just those two, I think, are the only ones so far. And then I'm working a deal with Koinomi as well. And any other wallet provider, I've reached out to many of them to see if they wanted to, if I could either use their logo or work out some sort of deal based on sales to split the the commission.
Great. And so you also work with a part of Bloompool, correct?
I do, yes. I am one of the partners at Bloom. Peyton and I started Bloompool right after the hard fork.
Mm-hmm.
We were one of the first pools up, minted the 8th block, and I mean, it's been such a fun and wild ride beyond what I could have ever dreamt of.
Well, for sure. So, all right. Anything else you want to cover? I think I covered it all.
I think so, man. I think so. The only thing that I'm looking forward to at this point is cNFTcon.
There we go. Right. I can't wait to do it again next year. So
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for watching, everybody, and we're out.
Thank you.